Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Well, I got up a little bit late, about 5 minutes late. I apologize for that, but I'm doing the best I can. I didn't know what to put on my title. Games people play. I just figured I'll stick with the what we all know. And do you want to play a game again? Punch that in one time when you go to the 17th, right? We're playing a game again. So, and also games people play. I found a couple of weird things. What they do, how they manipulate this debate, it's unbelievable. And of course, some of it's obvious, and then there's subtle things. I mean, they must have a squad of people with psychological degrees that are editing that debate, playing clips out of context. They have a hard and fast narrative that a fire hose of lies. You hear that everything from some little raggedy podcaster like Keith Olbermann, who got fired from somewhere. I think it was, if MSNBC fires you for being too much of a nut, I don't know which one, but anywhere from him all the way to the CNN or whatever else. You hear the same thing repeated, the same Nancy Pelosi with Biden having to deal with all these lies from Trump, but they can't play a response by Trump that they can point a finger at. They always say what they want people to believe Trump said. They don't play it where Trump's saying it. It's on, and it is getting to the point of criminality, in my opinion. And we heard Mr. T bring that term up. We heard I play a video where Lindsey Graham brought it up. Criminal. Okay, so they won't play that game, we'll play it. You want to play that game where an ex-president can be chased down, harassed, and arrested by any local prosecutor for any drummed up crap? All right, we'll play that game. You want to play a game? We'll play a game. But how do you like my thumbnail? They have it all. Hunter whispering the old joke. I know he said that because there I am listening in. So I hope you guys are doing good. Let me see who all's in here tonight. Debbie, Diane, Kim, Sandy, Tennessee, KNS, Doug. Nice to see you, Diane. Good evening to you. Melinda, Kim, Sissy. All right, everybody's rolling in. That's good to see. So, what are we going to talk about first? Hi, Ronald. How you doing? Nice to see you. Wait a minute. I got to get my studio up here. Here, I'm going to play. I saw a couple of good memes. Where's the one I was going to put on my thumbnail, but I decided to use the shriveled up old Joe. This one right here. Normies after 5 years. Joe Biden is showing signs of mental decline. You don't say. Everybody knew. That's what my thumbnail was about the last broadcast. Hey, Jack. Hey, suckers and losers. Everybody knew. They just lied to you all. And once they figure out, hey, told one lie, they'll tell 20 others. Hi, Tracy. How you doing? Debbie, nice to see you. Oh, I got to have both hands. Hi, Wayne. Hi, Gloria. Okay. So, you all know where Let's Play a Game comes from. You all know where They Have It All comes from. And it's interesting. Now, did you see this? Where is it? This, somebody put this out and said it was, I guess Time Magazine has a, here we go. Time magazine has it looks like Truth Social with that red check mark. Let me see. Yeah. Time. Things are dark. Democrats are panicking about Joe Biden's debate performance. What will happen next? Well, somebody made another meme. Where is that? Speaking of where we know where all these sayings come from, you know where this comes from too. Panic is real. And whose picture is that? The Punisher. Hebrew Hammer, how you doing? That's right, they went to Charlie status. Yeah, and they're asking questions like, what are you going to do about the cost of diaper bags? That's what they're asking the President of the United States at the debate. When they give billions of dollars to social programs, billions of dollars to the national education program, tens of millions in some counties, who knows how much, your own county, they give millions of dollars to, way more than they need. And what are you going to do about education? We'll throw more money at you all that you can't account for. That's what we're going to do. How's that sound? Okay. Here you go. Something else. Something else to do with that letter. Are you enjoying the show? I am. What are they going to do now? So what's the next thing to happen, folks? What's the next thing to happen? Andrew, how you doing? Ravens. Yeah, let me see if I can find that little article about that where they went on Charlie alert. Trump's warning about World War II and they're whistling in the dark like, Trump can't answer questions about how to help people. He just wants to rant and rave and spew lies, a fire hose of lies. He doesn't say how he's going to help people. Let me tell you about the genius of Trump. Let me tell you something. Remember Fire Marshal Bob? Let me tell you something. But anyway, let me tell you something. Something about the genius of Trump. I said when he gave his answers, people would have to take their little pea brain and go one space up on the chessboard to keep up with him when they ask petty stuff. I'm not saying child care is petty. I'm not saying people addicted to drugs isn't petty. But we're talking about a presidential debate. And they give billions to social programs for drug addiction, social programs in the education system, social programs for working mothers, single parents, all ready. What do you want them to do? Go in the house and start the wash machine with the diapers? I mean, what do you want from him? Of course, he's going to say he's going to go into big picture stuff about the economy. But more than that, he took his 2 minutes instead of getting suckered into a Biden be able to say, I feel your pain, like Bill Clinton, debates degenerating into what kind of underwear he wore and does he play the saxophone. Trump took his time to dump stuff out there that are serious that Biden had to address because those questions were asked because Biden had rehearsed answers to turn this debate into a childish sing-song rhyme. We care about you and Trump doesn't because we'll ask the questions. We know Trump's a big thinker. We're going to ask about minutia, feelings, stuff, and Biden is going to have the perfect answer, okay, how he's going to help all the women with the child care. No, Trump throws them right off. He brings up all the millions upon millions upon millions being thrown away into new neighbors, right? Migrants. Okay, how are you going to have good child care if you got to take care of half of Latin America and from 200 other countries? And more on the way, okay? So Biden's canned answer went, he couldn't handle it. He couldn't handle it, and he shorted out even more. Hi, David. Pappy Two Bears, how you doing? Let's see. Yeah, he's playing 5D chess. Ha ha. Television shows, how you doing? Sherry's here. Hebrew Hammer. Let me see. Andrew, make sure I get everybody. If I left anybody out, I do apologize. Once again, I didn't have time to set up a studio to do a multi-broadcast. MS Motorsports, how you doing? But I am, I run out of time. I mean, I could. Look, you want to see something weird? Look here. This popped up. What was this news service? BBC News. BBC News. Scientists have found a way to attach living skin to robot faces for more realistic smiles. Read more. I mean, this is ghoulish. Should we have some parameters on this stuff? I mean, human dignity. I mean, that's creepy. That's weird. Well, they're all talking about, let me get some of this stuff out of the way. How can you all support a felon? I don't know how you Democrats can support a felon. Got your parades for him, tearing up, burn down cities, monuments, candles all over the place. You're going to shoot for a national holiday, I'm sure. Over a counterfeiting, woman-beaten meth head that OD'd, and there's an innocent cop in jail. Hi, Doug. How you doing? Yes, hit the like button. I am Negan. Is that how that goes? I am Negan. I think I finally figured that out. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, that's right. It's against God, Tennessee. I was going to get a clip of Gene Wilder going, "It's alive." But, I really don't want to make fun of something like that. It's disgusting. It's unnatural. Speaking of that, disgusting and unnatural, look what Leading Report put out. I know you all have seen it in other places, but breaking, a nonprofit organization in Michigan is reportedly sending out voter registration mailings that have Michelle Obama on the cover. The godmother of the tranny movement in schools being accepted. And rights. Remember that? It was their second term. After they ran for their second term saying, we are in the defense, we believe in the Defense of Marriage Act. And then they got elected. Next thing you know, all these policies are being put through because they have the power in the Department of Education, the federal arm of the Department of Education. So next thing you know, your kids are coming home a little off base. I'll put it that way. And they end up a lot off base. But they feel safer. ABC News. While anti-alphabet legislation can have a harmful effect on mental health, experts and alphabet rights advocates say legislation that strengthens protections for alphabet people can do just the opposite, as well as bring acceptance and belonging. What the hell are you talking about? Oh, here it is. Alphabet people say their mental health is positively impacted when states have protective laws. Look, I can make my fingers look like a heart. What, laws to negate laws that protect young ones about lewd and lascivious conduct? Laws that protect these so-called teachers from going in and recruiting people? Laws that allow this to happen right here? Citizens Free Press. This was billed as a family-friendly gay pride event. Grown men walking about naked on the streets of Toronto. They feel safer because there's laws to protect them when they all should be sitting in jail, a male jail, okay? Hi, Marla, how you doing? Bubba, how you doing? Sherry, I'm doing good. Angela. Yeah, we're talking. Doug's here. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Doug. Yeah, buy me a coffee. Appreciate that. And everybody that helped out last night. Gary helped out, and Mike and Bev helped out. Todd helped out. And earlier in the week, I had Camperman, Miss Minard Sue, Roland, Robin, Lone Wolf, Richard, all through the week, earlier in the week. So appreciate that. So yeah, we got to turn that ship around. Okay. Now, what's the mental condition? Okay, we know we got some real losers. But what is this? Let's see. It's hard to. There we go. June 28th, 29th. Have mental and cognitive health to serve as president among registered voters, not just a general poll. %72% say Biden does not have the mental capacity or cognitive health to serve as president. Then you have 49% who says Trump does not. The man goes around every week doing rallies, sometimes twice a day doing rallies, plus a debate. And they don't cover it. And when they do, they distort it. And they make blanket statements that he's cognitively impaired, and they couldn't shine his shoes. They couldn't carry his briefcase. Here's what we're dealing with here. Here's what CNN put up. See Biden's speech after a shaky debate performance. Isn't that a nice looking president right there? And I wasn't going to put these side by side when I started up. Him and Jill, isn't that nice looking? Yeah. If you have eyes with which to see and ears with which to hear. But when you got CNN and places like that engaging in illegal psychological warfare, the people fall for it. There, if y'all hadn't seen my thumbnail, they have it all. Now, let me see, which one do I want to play here? I'm going to play this quick tape right here, and I want you all to listen to what Biden says. On the Hill, this program, let me show you the shifty nature of what they do. I'll go over it after I play it.
Have it here. I'd like to roll this. This was, I think, probably if you only showed people one clip from this debate, it kind of gives you a sense of what happened the other night.
This guy's 3 years younger and a lot less competent. I think that just look at the record. Look at what I've done. Look how I've turned around the horrible situation he left me. As I said, 15 million new jobs, 800,000 manufacturing jobs, more investment in America, over billions of dollars in private investment in enterprises that we are growing.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
Did you all catch anything about that? Did you all catch anything about that clip? Let me see what you all say in the comments. Did you all catch anything about that clip? This is a perfect example of a cheap fake. This is a perfect example of how they get into people's psyche and alter reality. Did you all catch anything? Well, television shows, if I will play it again, and I want you to hear what Biden says is that Trump left him a mess and that he created a whole bunch of jobs. And this was probably one of his most cogent, easily understood answers. And before Trump's response, you'll see a jump cut. So this is not a regular clip. This is a doctored clip by infiltrators into our media. I'll play it again. You listen to what he says. And somebody who did not see the debate and sees this clip will agree that Biden's voice was a little raspy, that he stuttered a little bit, and Trump made fun of his wonderful gains that he had as president, according to Biden.
Have it here. I'd like to roll this. This was, I think, probably if you only showed people one clip from this debate, it kind of gives you a sense of what happened the other night.
This guy's 3 years younger and a lot less competent. I think that just look at the record. Look at what I've done. Look how I've turned around the horrible situation he left me. As I said, 15 million new jobs, 800,000 manufacturing jobs, more investment in America, over billions of dollars in private investment in enterprises that we are growing.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
Get what I'm saying, folks? Even though he sounds off to us, you were still able to make out that he said he created millions of jobs and he did a wonderful job. And then Trump, there's a jump cut, and Trump says, I don't know what he's talking about. Well, let me show you what the real response was. Right here. There is no jump cut. Whoops. Let me pull it up. There is no jump cut. You get the tail end of his answer. It's the only one I could find on short notice.
Here, the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
Right there it is, folks. Did you catch it? A completely different answer from Biden on a completely different subject is what Trump was saying. He didn't know what Biden was saying. On the previous clip, they put his best answer, put in a jump cut, and the wrong response to that answer by Trump to make Trump look bad. If you all get what I'm saying, give me a thumbs up in the chats. If you caught it, if you understand what I'm saying, how they manipulated the media, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't get it, just say Bubba got it. Don't put a thumbs up if you don't understand what I'm saying. And we're at the 24-minute mark. You can go back to the 20-minute mark and replay the clips and see for yourself. They switched Biden's answer and they interposed Trump's biggest response that smacked Biden flat live that night, and they paired it up with a response that wasn't nearly as damaging as the actual response that prompted that statement from Trump. They manipulated the media. Melvita says, I don't understand. Well, Melvita, after the broadcasters, remember, go to about the 20-minute mark, and you'll, Angela got it. Gino, how you doing? Pappy got it. I'll just repeat the shorthand real quick. They put in a halfway cogent response that made Biden look as good as he looked that night. And then they spliced in an inappropriate response from Trump. Then I played the actual response from Biden where he was babbling and stumbling, no cuts, straight to Trump saying, I have no idea what he's talking about, and neither does he. They manipulated the media, and I caught them red-handed. We'll see how many other people catch that. But I'm going to play this, and I took out the name, but I'm going to start tacking this on the back of clips as I go along.
Derangement syndrome. Hatred of Donald Trump so intense that it impairs people's judgment.
So intense it impairs people's judgment. And then when you do subtle stunts like that, okay? Subtle stunts like that. Oh, here's a 19-second clip. What's this one? Let me play this. I forgot what it was. I'm sure it's something good.
Do you believe that the tens of millions of Americans who are likely to vote for President Trump will be voting against American democracy?
The more they know about what he's done, yes. The more they know about what he's done. And there's a lot more coming. He's got a lot of cases down the road coming around. He's got a whole range of issues he has to face.
Okay, he's threatening him right there. He's menacing him. He's saying that lawfare is coming. He's got a whole range of issues coming up. More cases on the way. As if they haven't dreamt enough crap up about him already. Look at the look on Trump's face. That's not edited. That's not spliced. That was the look on Trump's face right when Joe Biden said what he said. So let me get some of this stuff out of the way. And that way you can just come back to this part of the video and re-listen to these clips. I want to tell you something about some of these. They say gray hats. Some people say white and then hats, right? Lindsey Graham. I'm going to play this clip. I might interrupt here and there. But this is Lindsey Graham. And I know people are going to say, Jazz, I don't trust Lindsey Graham. He's no good. He's no that. Listen to everything he says before you judge. And remember, Trump said he's there when you need him. Trump said that more than once. But I want you to pretend something while Lindsey Graham is talking. You're one of the baddies, okay? You're one of the baddies that Lindsey Graham pats on the back and says, we'll get things straightened out. And, playing footsies with you. You kind of think he's on your side and doesn't like Trump. And you've done things you could go to jail for 100 years for. Just pretend you're one of those people listening to this. I might interject. We'll see.
Start with how he did on Thursday night. His answers were long, and often he did not give a related answer to the question that he was asked. And by CNN's count, he made 30 false claims and didn't commit to accepting the election results if he loses. Why doesn't that give you and other Republicans pause about him?
So that's a narrative coming up. 30 false claims. We haven't heard him play one from Trump's own mouth. Even Biden came in with the same old Charlottesville crap, people coming out of the forest, the same canned lies about J6, good and fine people in the KKK, and all the same lie after lie after lie. But anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, I thought he had a very good night. People who watched the debate thought the same thing, too. At the end of the day, he was strong, he was clear, he was coherent. But, you know, this idea that Biden had a bad night, that's not the story. He's had a bad presidency, had a disastrous debate. How could we get here? How could the American people see what they saw and not be forewarned? You got a compliant media who's written off the problems with President Biden. They've tried to soft sell this is attack by the right wing, that he's compromised. There is no clean fakes here. The man is compromised, and the media has been covering. The policies of his administration are destroying the country, and the New York Times and the Atlanta Journal-Constitution want him out, but they think he's a good president. He's not a good president. He's a decent man. He's a failed president. He is compromised. That's the storyline here. That's what the world saw, a compromised president. And if you want to look at past performance to judge what's going to happen in the future, God help us all if Joe Biden gets reelected.
Senator, I do want to ask you about President Biden in 1 second, but just to follow up on Donald Trump, since you are effectively.
When he says compromise, he's not just talking about his mental abilities. Okay? He's talking about the Manchurian candidate business. He's talking about the millions of dollars Trump pointed out that he's been getting from China and Russia. That's what he's talking about on top of his brains.
A surrogate and a supporter of his.
Yeah.
I did ask him 3 times about whether he would accept the results of the election, whether or not he wins. And he only at the end said that if it was fair and legal and a good election. Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, I mean, what are you supposed to say? Yeah, I'll accept it no matter if I thought I was cheated. I'm not worried about him accepting the results of the election. I'm worried about between now and November. Does Iran get a nuclear weapon because they think Joe Biden's so compromised he's not going to do anything about it? You know, Dana, y'all did a good job. You let him talk. You're not fact checkers. You let them talk. You know, 13 Americans did die in Afghanistan on Biden's watch from a disastrous withdrawal. But you got a compliant media and a lockstep Democratic Party who cheers bad policy. Have you heard one person named to replace Biden that would do anything different on the border? No. Have you heard anybody criticize his withdrawal from Afghanistan they're considering replacing him with? So this is a very dangerous time for America and the world at large. This election turned from this debate. Clearly, President Biden is compromised, but most importantly, his policies are not working. And Jim Clyburn said, if you like what's going on, you going to get more of it. 70% of the people in this country think we're going in the wrong direction. The Democrats keep calling President Trump a felon. Well, be careful what you wish for. I expect there will be investigations of Biden's criminality at the border. If I'm Mayorkas, I should be worried that somebody's going to come after you because you've abused the parole statute. The Hunter Biden laptop, all 51 of the people who signed a letter saying the laptop was fake and Russian disinformation. I hope somebody looks at you because that's election interference. So this country is going to have a resetting here, and using the Biden standard of glorifying political prosecutions, Pandora's box has been opened. Whether he steps down or not, accountability is coming to him.
I want to get to
Pandora's box been opened. Accountability's coming to him. We're getting ready for a reset. Did you all catch that? Now, I'm going to let this play this out. Remember, pretend like you are going to be in very big trouble if certain stuff gets out and Lindsey Graham is talking this way.
To a couple of important issues, sir, but You just warned of retribution.
Yeah. I warned that the Pandora's box opened by the Democrats is going to be applied here. There should be an investigation of Mayorkas and Biden for abusing the parole statute that led to the murder of Laken Riley. They let the accused killer out because of lack of capacity. They paroled him illegally. I think the criminality of the Biden border policy should be looked at. We should look at how people lied about the Hunter Biden laptop being fake when it was real. Yeah, I expect people to look at that. You had a January 6th committee looking at what happened on January 6th. I hope there'll be a committee looking at border policies that have led to the rape and murder of lots of Americans, people from 18 to 30 dying by fentanyl poisoning coming through a broken border. Yeah, I hope that does happen.
Yeah, did you catch all that? And I mentioned the threat level being raised earlier in the broadcast. I'm going to pull up an article about that. I believe it was ABC News. And just a caution, anybody mention other channels, it's going to be out of here. Okay? So, let me see if I can find that. Let's see. It's a lot. Well, I don't want to get out of line in the studio. I've got stuff lined up to go over. We're talking about people manipulating the news. Now, I found it interesting that Lindsey Graham got up there, did not pull any punches, discussed specific criminal activity, okay? Leading all the way up to the RAPE word, okay, and red rum, all right, and the people responsible. And he was brought on as a guest by one of the moderators. And yes, I think I saw an Adam's apple also. I saw that in the comments about an Adam's apple. But pointing out this type of manipulation of the media. You know, if I find something that is being manipulated for the good, I'll put it up there to show you that white hats are working. If I see when they do things like moving Trump's response around to different answers by Biden, I'll put it up, okay? Okay, here we go. The alert. This was travel, all right? The alert level of force protection condition, FP Con Charlie, was put in place over the weekend, according to U.S. officials. According to the U.S. Army, Charlie is the second highest state of alert that applies when an incident occurs or intelligence is received indicating some form of terrorist action or targeting against personnel or facilities is likely. Several U.S. military bases in Europe put on a heightened state of alert. And of course, that goes without saying. Let me see. Andrew, you better take that comment down. Okay? Because I'm trying to impart information to people. The chats are great. They're wonderful. But they're not for a sub show. For somebody to put a show on in the chats to distract from what I'm talking about and what I'm working my ass off to put up every night. So you let me know if you took that message down. And if you didn't, I'll take care of it. I have these things organized. It takes me all damn day to do it. And I don't appreciate this. You know, if I have, back in the old days, 100 people watching the whole video all day long, 12 people in the chats. If I got to go back to that, I'll do it. That's how I started. And I'll go back to it. Don't give a damn. So I jumped ahead to a subject I already mentioned once, but ahead of what I had laid out in my studio. I'm a one-man band, okay? So now I have to go back and figure out where in the hell came from. But yes, I started out small, just like this guy right here. I was talking about media being manipulated, okay? Media being manipulated. This character here, Nick Shirley, you know, everybody's heard of Nick Shirley. He's like Charlie Kirk. He's like Tucker Carlson. He's like all these big names, right? He gets 68,000 views in 3 hours. You know, you can bet he started his channel out like everybody else did, just started off small and built their way up like hell he did. He's being paid by the Biden administration. I'm pretty sure he's the same guy that denied he was being paid on X. They had a creator who popped up out of nowhere like Midas Trash Network and started getting all kinds of views out of nowhere. And then they claimed, I'm not being paid by anybody. And somebody fact checked and said that Biden campaign records show significant contributions to that person's social media to help them go along. So here's one of these people that started as a grassroots, just like I did, okay, at 10 o'clock at night by myself with a little creaky phone trying to talk to Bubba and Robin and all the early people that's been with me from the beginning, right? That's the way this guy started, right? Biden still won. Asking people who won the first presidential debate. Let's go, Joe. Putting all this stuff up there and YouTube giving him 68,000 views in 3 freaking hours. So yeah, I'm a little sensitive. Island Girl, how you doing? William Tyre, how you doing? Melinda. Yeah, I never heard of him either, Ian, but there he is getting all these big, showing up on everybody's feed, being, thank you, Melvita. Roland, how you doing? Delta would mean war, that's right. Well, you know, there's going to be that stuff going on because Lone Wolf, how you doing? I'm just looking through the chats. So anyway, manipulation of media, what they're up against, little things that come out and mean more to the population and the psychological digestion of our population. Here, with a lot of these frothing at the mouth liberals, you got somebody, I'm trying to keep the stand from flopping over on me. I'm getting myself worked up and flapping my hands around and everything else. Where'd that go? Well, I'm not going out of sequence next time. It just throws my whole daggone program off. Well, anyway, what was I talking about? These snippets and things that I put up, you know, there's like 100 of them, you know, and you got to be able to pick them out when they're not oversized. Here for the mouth-breathing liberals, Rappaport says that if Democrats replace Biden with Kamala or Gavin Newsom, he is openly and proudly voting for Trump. I don't like him, but a lot of damn liberals do, and he's got influence. So if he's coming out and saying that, that's another signal to me. Watch out for the wildebeest. Watch out for the wildebeest. And I spoke about the importance of this the other night. I talked about daytime television. Who in the world could sit around and watch Oprah Winfrey and Ellen DeGenerate, okay? And kids when they're home from school for whatever reason. Well, we know in 19 there was a lot of reasons for it in 2020. We had one good daytime person. Although she's liberal in her politics, she's conservative as a judge. You don't mess with Judge Judy. Everybody knows that. Well, Judge Judy comes out and says Trump's New York charges and conviction are nonsense. Okay? That's big. Then you have Rappaport and you have a lot of others coming out with the same points. I want to show you something as how else they manipulated the debate. We're listeners, right? We listen to shows. Some people walk around the living room or they do half this, half that. They get up and leave and go get something, come back, and they listen stuff halfway, and they read the bottom of the screen, right? Why? Here's a question. This is a real fair question. They put it at the bottom of the screen and leave it there. Why would voters trust Biden to solve the immigration crisis? They don't say, how would the candidates solve the immigration crisis? They say, trust you, the word you see, trust Biden to solve. Nothing about Trump. Subliminal psychological warfare. Oh, here they mention Trump's name. Why does Trump believe top earners and corporations should pay even less in taxes than they do now? Did Trump ever say that? They frame Trump in a light and they leave it on the screen. Here we go. Let's keep going. Why not? It's psychological warfare. And they took their time to plan this damn thing out. They knew what they were going to put on the bottom of that screen. They knew damn good and well. And these are the questions the Biden camp helped write. And also, if they didn't help write, they were provided something Trump was not provided with. Does Biden believe that the tens of millions of Americans who are likely to vote for Trump will be voting against U.S. democracy? I thought that was a question for both the candidates. You're voting against U.S. democracy when you vote for a 100-year-old system, which Biden represents 50 years, half of that same corrupt system. That's when you're voting against U.S. democracy, democratic republic. What did Trump mean when he said he would have every right to go after his political opponents if elected? Well, you heard Lindsey Graham. He said, you're the ones that opened Pandora's box. But the question should have been, is it proper to go after political opponents? Because Trump would have been able to say, look what they're doing to me right now. But they eliminate him from that. They frame Trump in a bad light by their chyrons under the candidates. What does Trump say to voters who believe he violated his oath of office on January 6th and worry he will do it again? What kind of question is that? And I'm sure people that need to be aware of this are aware of it. But the general public is not aware that these chyrons on the bottom of the screen are misleading, desultory, and meant to change people's opinions, and it needs to be called out. And I should have kept taking pictures of the chyrons, but I could have spent all night sitting here looking at that crap. Speaking of crap, this was pre-debate. Can CNN survive the debate? Well, they did. MSNBC. Same thing Oberman was saying. Same thing you'll hear coming out of Debbie Dingell's mouth. Okay? And Clyburn and Pelosi. All right? Other channels using the same lingo. Fire hose of lies. Just like I said, they were going to bring up Biden is cleaning up Trump's mess. That is an old saw saved from the Obama administration. How you doing, Rick? Hi, Bill. You watch this stuff all day? So do I. Hi, Mark. So there you see. But at the 20-minute mark, roughly, is when I played where they swapped out Trump's response. Here you go. Let's have a little bit of humor. Why not? Babylon B. Who's a good boy, huh? Who's a good boy? Says Joe Biden, congratulating Biden with a treat. I don't know if you all saw that. Need to put it in your quiver, but there it is. There it is if you need to. Whoa, I got a fly coming around. Yeah, most seniors are Trump fans. Well, we're losing our younger generation, and we're trying to rescue them from this dysphoric hellscape. And get people to where they're not shocked when big lies come out or big information comes out. I brought this up last week right here. How many people know this? This is an old picture of Hillary right there. If you want to, and Anthony Weiner right there. There they are. What is this? 9 out of 12 of the people who saw Anthony Weiner's laptop are DEAD, right? 9 out of 12. How many people walking down the street know this fact, this little fact? And they were working with the New York Police Department. How many people know that of all the Capitol Police that they claimed lost their lives during that day, did not lose them during that day, that they actually committed you-know-what-aside? And to my new subscribers, thank you for jumping on board. But the older people that's been with me know that I have good friends who worked at the Capitol Police. Okay, one was a captain. Okay, and they worked prior to that as MPs in the Marine Corps. All right, none of them have ever heard of anything coming close to 4 officers within a week's period offing themselves, ever. Couldn't recall one person doing it in 20 years. Not to say it didn't happen, but they didn't hear about it. I talked about how Tim Pool was talking about how these bulletin boards were going up all on major freeways, synchronized, putting up these bulletin boards, electronic bulletin boards. The artwork figured out, the text all figured out, the boards reserved, and boom, Donald, welcome to Atlanta. For the first time since becoming a convicted felon or whatever. Paid for by Democratic National Committee. Well, who's posting this on Utizzle? Midas Touch Network. And they posted, we don't get any help from anybody. If you want to donate to help us, help our channel. Yeah, right. We'll go through the campaign records and see about that. Well, we ripped a page out of their book right here. Private funding. We ripped a page out of their book. Start packing, Joe, I'm coming home. Well, let me see here. Remember the judge that got arrested? Her wig fell off. I played the video. I said the wig was laying on the ground off to the right, looked like a rat's nest. Well, she is off the bench. Let me get that back on the screen. Let me get that back up. She's off the bench. But this is very telling right here. She hadn't been to trial yet. She'd just been arrested. But guess what? Georgia Supreme Court removes arrested judge from office. What does that tell you, folks? What does that tell you? It tells me that they can do something about these judges. They can do something about Merchan. They can do something about Engoron. They can do something about Kaplan. This is small potatoes compared to what they're doing to Trump, and that tells me something else. It tells me they're letting them walk into a trap. They're giving them enough rope to hang themselves. And hey, that could be literal, depending on how far they take this. And here we have, speaking of criminal judges, here we have Midas Trash Network. No, this is Brian Taylor Cohen. He's another one. I want to see what happens with him and his law license. What happens with somebody who takes a political point of view? And is he knowingly putting out misinformation because he suffers from TDS? Or does he actually believe this stuff? Pro-Trump cannon finally pulls stunt that may get her removed. She's the only one following the book. She's the only one going by the rules of evidence, the rules of law, the Constitution. She's not shimmying around stuff like the ones I previously mentioned. We're going to keep an eye on that. Well, now this one here, I heard Trump bring this up at the rally. Donald Trump rips Freedom Caucus Chairman Bob Good. He was terrible. He was saying Bob Good is no good. Bob Good was putting up signs, Trump good, all over the Virginia is what they said. Even though Trump endorsed McGuire, his opponent. Well, guess what? McGuire won. Bob Good is Freedom Caucus chairman, way up there. And he lost by like 300, 200 votes. Okay, it was really close. Trump brought it up at his speech. Well, Virginia reminded me. Jack Smith, Virginia governor, Bob McDonnell, illegally, okay, unlawfully, I'll say, instead of illegally, unlawfully charged. Jack Smith's case against Bob McDonnell thrown out 9-0 by the Supreme Court, unanimous, got his ASS handed to him. So they were manipulating and interfering with Virginia elections. It just hit me. And then you have Bob Good. They found all these votes somewhere that were very, very iffy, but he still lost. But what did our friend on NPC show put up? Virginia election fraud. Election day was 6/18, and a box was emptied on 6/21. Video recording of shady election activities. So they pulled out some stops to try to keep Bob Good, who is no good, in the 5th District of Virginia and try to regain their stranglehold. And remember, Trump mentioned Glenn Youngkin, how he could be very good in international affairs, such as settling the war in Ukraine. So something might come out of that as far as people going to jail, as the yuppie kids say. Instead of jail, they say, I don't want to go to jail. So we'll see. What's this one here? The Joe Biden campaign says it raised $14 million on debate day and the morning after. Trump's team raised $8 million. Well, you know what this tells you? Holy cow, Tennessee. Tennessee, you still with me, I hope, buddy. I appreciate you going by buy me a coffee. When I pulled this last tweet out, my notification showed. So thank you, Tennessee, for going to buy me a coffee and helping support the channel. So, hey, folks, about this thing on the screen. They raised $14 million. Where did Biden go the next morning? He went to the Hamptons. Or is that where he went? He went to some rich place and flew there in a jet and met with limousine liberals. And I said, Bloomberg, one shot gave him $20 million a week ago. And he still couldn't top Trump. Trump did about $130 million. Biden did $96 million. And $20 million of it came from one donor, Bloomberg. Trump's $8 million are probably, their television shows gave Tennessee boom, boom, boom. Ha, ha, ha. What you guys talk about with Hillary, her body count's going to go up. But anyway, they're just showing the phony stuff they pull. What's this one? I heard this about an hour before I came up, but I think it was posted the hour before, so it's around 8 o'clock tonight. Have you all heard this? Breaking. The decision has been made that Biden will not seek re-election, according to Bill O'Reilly. O'Reilly says the White House doesn't yet know how or when to make the announcement. Wow. Is Bill O'Reilly just getting attention, or is it true? Is it true? Maybe. Because you had, and this made international news, Biden's cabinet should consider the 25th Amendment. To remove president after hard debate performance, Speaker Johnson, House Speaker Mike Johnson, this is from Ruski News, called on members of the administration to fire Biden. New York Post reports. According to Johnson, it is necessary to apply the 25th Amendment to the Constitution about cases when the head of state is incapacitated. I got into a back and forth with somebody from the UK who was arrogant and typed out, I took screenshots of some of it, just ridiculous. I said the cabinet and the vice president can remove the president under the 25th Amendment. No, he had to argue with me in chat, in comments. You have to have Congress do it. And here's where I typed the whole Constitution in the damn comments section, but he left out the part that said the cabinet can remove him with concurrence of the VP. He left that all behind. My response to him was he's a nincompoop, and he wastes his time typing a bunch of nonsense, and my comment got taken down. And the lady running the channel, she calls herself a limey. She interjected into the conversation and said, I did not take your comment down. YouTube must have, because you're being rude. And I said, hey, you guys live in a country where they put people in jail for memes. I don't. And if you're going to comment on my Constitution in my country, you're going to hear back from me that you're a nincompoop. Well, they took that comment down too. So there's no, and I'm glad I have people from the UK that can listen to me. And I hope that you all don't get deprived of being able to listen to me. Nincompoop. Nincompoop. Who is that hurting? And who else types in 6 or 7 paragraphs of the Constitution that doesn't even address the point of the matter and is not a nincompoop? So they're being heavily censored over there. What's this? Oh. Donald Trump, what are you going to do about the cost of childcare and diaper bags and formula? The American people want to know. Meanwhile, the United States does not know what happened to the $62 million worth of equipment, weapons sent to Ukraine, the Daily Caller writes, citing the Pentagon. The U.S. European Command did not receive systematic and detailed response on losses from the Ukrainian armed forces, despite the protocols and standards in place, the article says. In particular, they do not know whether the weapons transferred to Ukraine before November 2023 were lost or destroyed. And by the way, President Trump, what are you going to do about the shortage of number 2 pencils in our schools? Just a pack of nincompoops. Is everybody still with me? Well, before that O'Reilly came out, discussing that the decision was made, according to O'Reilly. Before that, this came out from somebody named Doug Cass. What I am hearing regarding Joe Biden, Ron Klain, and Barack Obama are having a sit-down with the president today. Jill Biden is insistent that Joe runs. Kamala is furious that she is not being considered as replacement. Whitman and Newsom are. Interestingly, My neighbor in East Hampton, that's where he went, and that's where he probably got 2 donors to give him the 18 million. To step down, probably, is hosting the Bidens tomorrow. It will be an important tell if the fundraiser is canceled. So, I'll tell you what. Who on the Republican side have you heard having a different name in their life? I know Epstein, when they went through his stuff, they found paperwork considering a Saudi identity, okay, different credit cards, passports, and all this kind of stuff. I know Gruesome Newsom, that's not his real name. He used to go by a different name, yet to be disclosed. I know Jack Smith is not his real name. He went by a different name. I know Bill de Blasio. That's not his real name. It's Wilhelm something or other, Clanson-Klopper or something like that. That'll come out. And don't forget that Barry Soetoro didn't always go by the name Barack Obama. So how come we see so much of this stuff about the people of the left? What was it? Biden was talking about the people of the forest coming out during Charlottesville with swastikas and torches, people of the forest, and Maxine Waters going, they're training up in the hills. So, no, there's nothing like that, you crazy old bat. There's nothing like that. But there are all these people who come into the fore with a lot of power, okay? They're governors of cities, of states, they're mayors of cities, they're prosecutors chasing a former president and probably current commander-in-chief, a former president. All these people, a guy that got tired of life and ended it is what they're saying, but he used to manipulate and have over to his island the most powerful people in the world. What were their real names? And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Wow, I'm way behind in the chats. Usually there's an arrow. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Tom. That's right. The 25th is going to be used on Joe, not him. Yeah, the debate, you have to show them. You have to show them. That's why I try to do, to my new subscribers, go look at my playlist of all the videos I've done. None of them are redundant, okay? And most of them are prescient as to what's happening now. Like the thumbnail I have tonight, but on top of this, last night, I had this thumbnail. Hey, suckers and losers. Maybe that's all the morons that voted for Biden. 38 or 9% of the population, and the rest of it, who knows where they came from, right? Everybody knew, Jack. Everybody knew. And before that, this was before the debate. Before the debate, I said, you must show them. All right? I was letting people know before the debate even happened, it was happening to show the people around the world and the ones who are not awake yet that Biden's brain is disconnected, okay? And that CNN would do a good job relative to their past behaviors. Not that they did a great job, but they did a good job relative to their past behaviors. Because here's a good meme for you. Where all the hatred for Donald Trump began. We can lay it right in the lap of the media. Coordinated libel and slander. And this was a funny one here. My girlfriend, promise you won't get all political in front of my parents. Me 3 drinks later. The world is changing. People don't realize how big it's going to be, how big things are going to change. Now, here's another meme for you if you haven't got this one yet. 4 minutes into the debate, time to fly to my second rally. Someone give me my phone so I can make fun of little Robert De Niro. Can't wait to win my 3rd club championship tomorrow. And Biden, I'm fatigued. I thought it was a good one. Here's who's going to take Joe's place, they say. Cruella DeVille. Don't forget that she's the one that set up the phony kidnapping plot and had those guys arrested working with the FBI to frame people on a phony kidnapping charge, and Trump called it out. And I did a video on it where the lead FBI guy was taken off the case because he beat his wife, he choked his wife, he beat her bloody, and he tried to force her into some nasty business at a hotel with a bunch of swingers. She wouldn't do it, and they caught him drunk driving, and he felony strangulation of his wife. And they let him off the hook with some little creepy little charges, nothing big. Here's the immediate aftermath right here, right after the debate. This is Vegas odds. Who will win the 2024 U.S. presidential election? Biden is the blue, Trump is the red. 35 to 65. Look at the difference. That looks kind of like what happened at 3 o'clock in the morning election night, doesn't it? Sure does. I've got a photo right here. An actual photo. I had to slow the video down. Slow the video down to get this, screen grab. Screen grab of Biden event. And I said that it was a teleprompter and 4 busloads of migrants make a big difference. And I'm pretty sure I'm right. Maybe 5 busloads. Because if you look there, they've got the black curtains all the way around the back of that. The biggest crowd was behind Biden for the camera's sake. Off to the left, off to the right, it's maybe 3 deep. You can see the curtains continuing on the left side of the photograph. They're in 2 or 3 people deep on the left or the right of Biden. And in the front of Biden, you've got maybe 5 rows deep. Back behind him, they packed the people, which are campaign workers, media, and busloads of migrants. Do you all agree with me? It sure in hell ain't a Trump rally. You take away the press and staffers and you don't even have 1,000 people there. There's no way. But that's where Biden gave his fiery speech. His fiery comeback speech. But if you think you got if your job was hard, just remember Joe Biden's sign language interpreter. And for all the doubters, this is a left-wing bunch of crap right here. But even they had to put it out. Snopes. No, Trump did not call neo-Nazis and white supremacists very fine people. Remember, Trump is suing George Slopinopoulos for $15 million, I think. I think that's how much it is for what he said. So let them keep it up. They will collapse under the weight of their own illegality. I hope Trump sues their eyeballs out of their head. And here Elon Musk had to get in on this. The Democrats, whoa. Elon Musk would LOL. The Democrats, tonight's debate. Elon just LOL. Yeah, right, sure. Sure you did. Sure you won. What's this one here? Wait a minute. Let me see. Oh, France things are going crazy in France. The right-wing parties won the elections in France. Now the left wing, the communists and Islamists, are rioting, attacking police, and looting stores. That was today, folks. Well, I got a little video clip, and I should have took the whole thing, but I knew I wouldn't be able to come on at a reasonable hour. Where is it? Where they talk about, here's how they start their clip off. And I think this is deface the nation. I'm not sure. Yeah, deface the nation. Of course, they trail it off talking about, look at these poor people, right? All these poor people. And if you're not for letting them in your backyard, your bedroom, or taking all your social programs, all your daycare money, all your number 2 pencils at your schools, you're a bigot, right? So this is how they start the thing off, but it jumps from this right to the closing segment of this Deface the Nation about how Europe is changing. And in a short 40 seconds, you'll laugh your can off seeing how it's changing.
Despite these emerging trend lines in Europe, it appears the center did hold in those parliamentary elections, at least for now. Center-right Ursula von der Leyen is expected to remain European Commission president. But this Monday, Hungary takes over the rotating presidency of the European Council, and Prime Minister Viktor Orban has promised to, quote, make Europe great again. The slogan a nod to his friend Donald Trump. With the far right still ascendant in parts of Europe, it has left some to wonder if America is any less immune, and leaves open the question of what happens next when democracies elect leaders who flirt with anti-democratic tendencies. That's it for us today. Thank you all for watching.
Make Europe great again. They got their hats. I might use a picture of that hat, Make Europe Great Again, on one of my thumbnails. Like, I remember to go back and get a screenshot of that. But what are they saying? They're saying because they want to go on the same platform as Donald Trump, that these democracies are flirting with anti-democratic values. Did you catch that? Look at her face. But that cracked me up when I saw that. Make Europe great again. Ha ha ha. Deface the nation is unhappy. Good. I'm glad you're unhappy. You make me sick. Is this a video? Wait a second. What is this? Oh, this might just be a screenshot. Yeah. Mental health to be president. Biden. All right. Pre-debate. Before the debates even started, only 35% of the population thought he had what it took to be president. They hid that from everybody. After the debate, it dropped to 27%. Who thinks he should be running for president? Before the debate, 37%. Only 37%. After the debate, it's down to 28%. So, what do we take from this? We have between 27 and 28% of the people in this country are damned idiots. That's what we have. Nincompoops. I know that doesn't go well in the UK, but that's the word I'm using. I know that's a wordy dirt. Here's one video. I guess I'll save for tomorrow or the next day, depending on when I go live. Let me check the chats out real quick. I hope Andrew's still with us. Hi, Michael. How you doing? Let's see. I don't believe I've met you before, Michael. Nice to see you. You're quite welcome. Okay, let's see. Just check it. When I get quiet, sometimes I'm just looking through the chats. 60,000 makeup, that's a lot. So, anyway, I know here we go. This really, here's not this one. I'll put another one up. But Boeing to offer discount flights to anyone willing to hold the door in place for the duration of the flight. And this one here, I might as well put this one up. For all those people who wore masks while driving alone, the new outdoor seatbelt is now available. And let me see. I got a good video I'm going to go out with. But I want to thank all my new subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so you'll know when I go live. And be part of the chats. That'd be great. Well, let's see what I want to play on the way out. See if I got something I haven't played in a while. What have I not played in a while? Let me see. I don't know. Well, let me see. What's this one here? I know what I'll play that I haven't played in a while. Right here. This one's for Steve Bannon. He's getting ready. I think he's going to get out. Was supposed to report for jail today. And he says he's having an amicus brief filed an amicus brief filed on the 15th, and Mike Johnson is going to file it saying that the J and then 6 is committee, that their subpoenas are moot, M-O-O-T. All right? And that's going to be heard by the Supreme Court. So I'm playing this little video in honor of Steve Bannon. It's my favorite girlfriend, Laura Logan. And I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me. And I hope you all had a great time this evening and enjoy this video. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
Corralled into this box where we either have to hate Vladimir Putin and believe everything evil that's said about him and love Ukraine, and there's no in between. And that reminds me a lot of, you're either a white supremacist or you go with the Democrat narrative on everything under the sun.
The most lethal terrorist threat to the homeland today, white supremacy.
And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
I mean, there's as much interference here as you could possibly imagine. Before you even get to Hunter Biden, Nancy Pelosi, John Kerry, Mitt Romney, and all of their children who earn millions from Ukrainian gas companies. These days, it's hard to believe anything because they've lied about COVID, they lied about Russia collusion, they lied about the Ukraine impeachment trial, and there's so much more going on in Ukraine that nobody is talking about.
Does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
My job as a journalist is to try to understand what is the truth here. I don't like being lied to, and we're being lied to on an epic scale. When we're told your only choice is you have to be 100% with Zelensky. Slava Ukraina, who's a puppet who you can find on the internet in black stilettos and leather pants. Zelensky was selected, like so many of our leaders. And honestly, with big tech and with election fraud these days, we don't know how many leaders all around the world have been selected for us and weren't actually voted in.
How to build back better.
We have to build back better.
Build back better.
If Donald Trump gets the Republican nomination, there are many of us that will move heaven and earth to ensure he doesn't win.
We are fighting the same battles all over the world. To pretend that this war is about Russia and Ukraine is a barefaced lie. Putin has been warning for 15 years that he is not going to stand by while the globalists take over the world, build bioweapons facilities and whatever else they're doing in Ukraine. Ukraine has been a center of money laundering for many of the leaders in this country. Billions of US dollars have been laundered through Ukraine, and we say nothing about it. Does nobody question these things? We have an idiot like Lieutenant Colonel Vindman.
Mr. Vindman, Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, please.
Do you always insist on civilians calling you by your rank?
And sits there as a lieutenant. Didn't should be. You have a traitor in the form of Maria Yovanovitch, who was Obama's ambassador, who's telling Ukrainian government officials, don't listen to the will of the American people.
In his July 25th phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky, the president badmouthed Yovanovitch,
called that the president of the United States cannot say to his foreign counterparts that we want you to look into something.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. And they put in place someone who was solid.
So much hypocrisy and dishonesty here.